Alright, so what's up guys? So back with a brand new video, you feel me? So I'm actually gonna be doing something a little bit more unique today. And this is something you probably have never seen before. And if you have, I haven't seen it before, so I hope this is a unique idea. But anyways, let me explain how this video is actually gonna work. Alright, so essentially what I'm gonna be doing is rating different YouTubers' builds. And I'm gonna be using a rating criteria of 5 different things. So the first thing is uniqueness, so how unique the build is, of course. Damage output, so how much damage it does. Adaptability, so like how it would do in different situations or like fighting specific builds, you feel me? Then survivability, so you know how tanky it is, how long it lives, you know, that type of shit. And then combo potential, how good are the combos with this build. So a lot of this is self-explanatory based off the name. If you guys have any questions about this, comment them below. Besides for that, let's start the video up, you know? Alright, so the first YouTuber that I'm actually going to be talking about is Nanica, guys. He's a fire YouTuber. Check his video out. I got it in the description right now. But basically, his build is an Azure Flames Shadow Hero Blade build. And he went Arc Warder on it. So here are the stats actually, guys. Alright, so first glance on this build, I do notice that one thing he's missing is actually 60 agility for tap dancer. And I'm not gonna lie guys, unless you run like a shield or tap dancer, your build's kind of ass because you can't deal with mix-ups. So if somebody does like a mix-up on you and you fall for it, you're kind of just cooked. So I would always run high fortitude for like a good shield or like tap dancer. Preferably tap dancer or ghost or something, right? So the very first improvement I'm gonna make is I'm actually gonna be adding tap dancer to this build. And after that, honestly guys, there's not much else to make because Nanica's build isn't that bad inherently. Like, he's missing strength on it, but if you want to go Azure Flames, you have to kind of sacrifice something, and that is strength. So here are the finished stats for my improvements on this build. Let's just move on to the rating part now, guys. Alright, so first let me actually show you guys a clip of Nanica's PvP on this build. So let's check this out. Alright, so he is hitting these combos, bro, and these combos are so nice. Like, honestly speaking, like, these combos are really hard to land, but when you do land them, like, that shit definitely does like a bar or two. And he's landing them on good players too. Like, that's Adept, bro. Adept is like top 250. He's valid, bro. But let's move on to the ratings now, guys. Honestly, like, we've seen the clips, we've seen the PvP. Let's see how this build fares up against my rating system. Alright, now I'm going to be talking about the ratings. So the very first thing I'm rating him on is uniqueness. Alright guys, so the very first thing about uniqueness is like how much other people have a build like this. A lot of people, you know, a lot of people be rocking dual Attunement Hero Blades nowadays. But builds like this specifically, I feel like, you know, it's pretty unique. Like when it comes to DEEPWOKEN builds, because I'm not going to lie, like to a certain point, there is a limitation on how like different your build can get. So I'm going to rate this like an 8 out of 10. For uniqueness. It's not bad, it's solid. Alright, so damage output, like if this video was made like 1 week ago, this like the rating would be a lot higher, you know. But like Shadow Hero Blade got nerfed. I don't think it does a bar anymore for its crit, because I had like 530 HP, bro. Shadow Hero Blade, that shit used to do a bar. It was crazy. Flame Charm does do damage. I'm gonna rate this build honestly like a 7 out of 10 for damage, just because I feel like a lot of its stuff did get nerfed. If this was made in the past, then honestly this build would be rated so much higher, but it sadly is not. Adaptability, alright guys, so this is like how well would it adapt to like certain situations, certain builds, you feel me? I feel like mobility wise, this build has Flame Leap, but it's not like the mobility variant. Like normal Flame Leap, I feel like for running away and in ganks, it's just not as good. Overall, for like when it comes to like in ganks, I feel like this build would just not be as valid. But in 1v1s, this build is really good. So for that, I'm probably gonna rate it like a 6 out of 10, just because it's just not as good for ganks in my opinion. It's viable still, but you know, there's better options out there, you feel me? So let's move on to the next one. Survivability, so basically how well does he do at just not dying, and tankiness. So tankiness wise, he does not have a lot of HP. Like for talent wise, Nanica's kind of missing some stuff, I'm not gonna lie. But generally speaking, he does still got Flame List, he still got Flame of Denial, and that shit definitely helps bump his points up a lot. So I would probably rate this survivability wise like a solid like 7 out of 10 again, guys. Honestly, like it's nothing crazy, he's missing some stuff, but he's definitely just not gonna easily die, which definitely helps keep his points up. So I think 7 is a solid rating. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree or not. Well, let's move on to the last thing, which is combo output or combo ability, you feel me? So comboing, As you guys can see in these clips, his combos go crazy, I'm not gonna lie to you. And he's hitting them on good players too. So for that, low-key, I'm gonna have to hit his combos with like a solid 9 out of 10. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like, he hits crazy combos, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. So his total rating is gonna come out to a 37 out of 50, which is not bad at all. Let's move on to the next YouTuber. Alright guys, the next YouTuber is my day one Inu, bruh. If you guys are not subscribed to him, which you probably are low-key, he's one of the biggest DEEPWOKEN YouTubers, guys. But basically, Inu made this brand new Surge Rapier build, and low-key, this build is pretty valid, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Let me just show you guys the stats real quick. Alright guys, so this build is super tanky, and is meant for basically just using any single like weapon you want to use. Like, I feel like nowadays though, I'm not gonna lie, 90 fortitude, that shit is just not worth it. He also does not actually go what's it called, tap dancer, which I feel like is kind of a big loss. So let me just show you guys the stat, like the updates that I've made to it personally. So if you're gonna make it, I would recommend making this, but the other one is valid too. But let's check this one out. Alright guys, but check out these stats. Okay, so 40 strength, you want to get showstopper and unwavering, right? We got 50 fortitude, you feel me? You obviously want the tankiness from fortitude still. You got charisma, 55 charisma, that shit is just valid, you feel me? And you get tap dancer. And the only thing you lose out on is like 9 weapon points. So honestly speaking, guys, like, you can't run an SK on this, but I'm pretty sure everything else is fine, so it's still valid. You just get a lot more out of it, low-key. But Inu's build is valid too. Make sure to like and subscribe to Inu. But let me actually rate his build, and I'm also going to be rating his build, not the like improvement one that I made, because that's the point of the video, right? Alright, so let's get started. Alright guys, so uniqueness rating. Alright, so Inu's my friend, but I'm not going to be biased on this. I'm going to be brutally honest, so I don't think he cares either, right? But anyways, so 6 out of 10 for uniqueness. I'm not going to lie, guys. Single attunement, you know, basic comp build. It's a good build, but you feel me? It's not unique. It's nothing meta breaking. It's nothing that like people haven't made before. So let's just move on to the next thing. Alright, so guys, damage output. So I'm not going to lie, Surge Path just does crazy damage in general. Like Surge Path, like that's the main thing everybody's going crazy over Surge Path for, and that's his damage rate. So that's why I would say honestly for a damage, like I've seen the Surge Path damage, I would probably rate this like a 8, maybe a 9, but I feel like 9 might be too high because you're not just getting one shot by this, right? Like you still need to do stuff for it. So I'm rating this an 8 out of 10 for the damage. It's nothing crazy, but like it's definitely better than a lot of other stuff. So yeah. Alright guys, so adaptability. How well does this build adapt to ganks? So the thing about Thundercall is honestly, in my opinion, it's probably the best build or like the best attunement for ganks. This build specifically, the movement isn't crazy on it because you're only running 25 agility. But if you grab like lightning clones, jolt grab, and spark swap, which Inu does have 2 of those, I would probably rate this like a 7 out of 10 off that, just because Thundercall is just valid for ganks. If Inu called like arc order for this, honestly, I think it would be a lot crazier because arc order is really valid. But you feel me? This is the build, so that's the rating. Let's go to the, what is it again, survivability rate. So how well would this build do in like living in ganks and 1v1s? So honestly, this build is definitely more meant for 1v1s than ganks, from what I can tell anyways. So how well would it do in living? So it does rock 90 fortitude, which is really valid, but honestly speaking, he doesn't go 55 charisma, which from what I've heard from like other top players who are like God Seekers or whatever, most mans really just goes like 50 fortitude and then they shrine that and then they still get 55 charisma, and that makes you more tanky than if you actually go 90 fortitude. So unless you're running like a hero blade build, I wouldn't recommend rocking 90 fortitude on that. So for this, I'm still gonna rate it like 7 because he's gonna have a lot of HP off fortitude, which is still really good. So yeah. Guys, so final thing we're actually going to be rating is combo potential, right? So in my opinion, Thundercall low-key does not have the craziest combos, low-key, but like that doesn't mean it's bad, right? Because it did get fixed. Like now it does give hit stun, because in this like the clip that you guys are seeing right now, Inu's actually testing the hit stun on it, right? And it actually was bugged before, but now, you know, it is fixed now. So you feel me? If y'all think Thundercall combos got better, you know, let me know. But I feel like Thundercall is definitely more cheesy than combos now. Like before, like back when I used to main Thundercall, the combos were crazy. Nowadays, I feel like the combos, like you can't hit crazy combos, like as crazy combos with it, right? Because the monsters that you got, feel me, I don't know, they just feel a lot more cheesy. Inu's build definitely does rock a lot more of the combo related monsters. So for that, I'm low-key gonna rate this like a 7 out of 10, guys. Because he's definitely running Jolt Grab, Thunder Kick, you feel me? Like Storm Cage is like the stuff that I'm really talking about for combos, is because most Thundercall builds be rocking Arc Suit, or I mean, what's it called? arc wave, storm cage, you feel me, like basically stuff that I guess you've stunned, and then they just chip away at your HP slowly instead of hitting you with like one crazy combo, right? So that's why I will probably rock like 7 out of 10 for this one. So let's move on to the next one. The third YouTuber in the list of YouTubers whose builds I am rating is Elage, guys. Alright, so Elage is, you know, unlike Nanica and Inu, he's definitely not as known. So make sure to actually check out his YouTube and make sure to subscribe to him, guys. But without further ado, let's go talk about his build. So as you guys can see here, he actually has a Arc Warder Blue Thunder Fire build. Alright, so let me show you guys the stats. Okay, so Elage actually didn't run Shrine of Order on his build, which is definitely new, but honestly, like, that does deduct points from making the build, you know, like better. So he's missing a lot of stuff. He's missing 50 fortitude, 40 strength, and what's it called, tap dancer. So there's a lot you can actually improve on this build. So let me just show you guys my improvements for Elage's build. Alright, so here are the improvements that I actually made for Elage's build. 50 fortitude, 60 agility, 40 strength, 40 willpower, 55 charisma. So if you do want to rock arc warder, you can actually take something out of, like, I would recommend like strength, and then you can still grab arc warder. But you know, I couldn't really figure out a way to fit everything in, so you know, that's the build that I made. But anyways, let's actually move on to rating Elage's build. So as you guys do know, he is missing a lot of stuff, but when it comes to like ganking and viability, this build is still pretty valid. So let's start off with the very first rating, which is uniqueness. So how unique is Elage's build? So Azure Flame, static, or Surge Path, you know, like a lot of people are making it, but generally speaking, it is a pretty unique build when it comes to the meta. So I would probably rate this like an 8 out of 10 when it comes to uniqueness. Alright, let's go to the damage output for this build. So this build is obviously rocking Azure Flames and Surge Path. So those two things do a ton of damage, especially when combined together. And his talents for this build are pretty decent as well. So when I'm rating the damage on this build, I am kind of paying attention to the talents, and I feel like he doesn't have the best talents to maximize his damage, but at the same time, the two attunements that he picked are pretty valid for damage. So I'm gonna probably rock, I would say I rate like 7 for damage. Like 7's not bad, you know, he did well when making this build. So yeah, let's move on to the next thing, which is actually the viability of this build, or adaptability, my fault. So adaptability, how well does this build adapt in different situations? And this is where this build honestly really shines, because it's an arc warder build. So arc warder, you know, it's probably one of the best things for ganks and 1v1s in general. So I'll probably rate this like an 8 out of 10 for adaptability. Like no matter what situation you're in, what build you're fighting, you know, arc warder is just going to be valid. One critique I do have is that he's not rocking Flame Wisp, which will make him lose points for the next category, which is actually survivability. So he does have decent HP. He's running like 480 HP, which is not bad, but I would still recommend getting Flame Wisp on this so that you can actually, you know, live longer, and maybe even Flame of Denial, but the last one isn't as needed. So let's move on to the final, like the second last rating thing. Alright, so this is actually the last one. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm getting mad tired right now. But anyways, so combo ability. So how well does this build combo? So let's check out the PvP on this. It's not bad, like the combos are nice. Low-key, after that what's it called, arc beam, you should uppercut, and then he can do a lot better. So I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, no offense to him, but I feel like he gotta, feel me, combo a little bit better on this build. But overall, like the combo potential on this build is pretty valid. I would rate it like solid like 7 out of 10. Not bad at all. So this build pretty solid. Make sure to check out Elage. He makes fire videos. His link is going to be in the description too, guys. But besides for that, thanks for watching. Not much else to say. I know I did only make 3 YouTubers this time, but this video has been very long. Originally I was going to do 4, but you know, I didn't want to make this like 20 minutes long. So yeah, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.